This is our home reserve couch that you can't see, but we love it. So we wanted to do an unboxing video of our sofa and see how quickly and easily it goes together. This was not a sponsored post from Home Reserve, but we love it so much we thought, hey, everyone should see how easy this thing is to go together.
And so we're going to go ahead and put this one together to show you what it looks like to unbox and put together a Home Reserve love seat. So the first thing about the Home Reserve couch is it's going to show up to your door in a series of boxes. We ordered a sofa and a love seat. So we received 4 boxes, and the boxes are really nicely labeled. You can see here that we have love seat box 1 of 2 and box 2 of 2. So it makes it really easy to make sure you're putting the right pieces with the right pieces. And then Corey's going to go ahead and cut these boxes open, and we're going to show you what's inside of each of the boxes so you can know what to expect.
These are, what were these, babe? These were the arm ends
and the cushions,
for the back. And all you gotta do is set this to the side, and this will open up on its own without you even having to cut the bag.
Yeah, so just set it off to the side and give it time. Then when you go, hold on here. So when you go into the next layer, each layer is separated by one of those little Home Reserve cardboards. So there's little sections. What you're gonna find is in the first box, you're gonna have a bunch of different pieces. All of the pieces are numbered accordingly, like this. And then as you make your way through, there's also bags with parts in it. So now we're opening the second box. And you'll notice, similar to the first box, we have some different of the cushions or backing, as well as all of the fabric covers. So you actually do put the fabric cover on yourself. The instructions are in this bag right here in box 2. So one of the things that kind of tricked us was the fact that we opened up box 1 and unpacked all the way to the bottom, thinking we would find the instructions. But realistically, the instructions live in the fabric cover bag in box 2. And the very first step in the instructions is do not unpack the entire boxes. You'll be able to pull the pieces out layer by layer. And we had already on our last couch, which we put together successfully, you can see it back there, so it didn't really ruin the program, but what it did do is we ended up with pieces everywhere, and that wasn't really according to the instructions. So I guess if we could suggest something to Home Reserve, it would be to put the instructions on the top of box 1, since that's where people naturally start. But again, it really didn't upset the end result of the couch. It all went together beautifully. And we probably are actually going to lay these out again because it was much easier just to find the pieces and put them together. So word to the wise, or another tip that we learned during the building of our first couch, was that you should probably put your couch together on a hard surface. So when you build it, it's made of this, particle I don't know board. What is it called?
Particle board. Okay,
I was going to call it particle board. But I think if you zoom in here, you can see that it has lots of little burrs on the end of it, and the edges are a little bit rough. As you put together piece after piece after piece, you end up with like a hamster cage equivalent of shavings all over your floor.
Which is fine.
Yeah, so it's fine, but if that were on carpet, I think it might be really hard to get some of those pokey little pieces out of the carpet, and might end up ending in your foot, possibly. So we said we were really glad we put it on like we put it together on a laminate floor as opposed to on our carpet, and we would recommend that to you as well. So now we've gone ahead against the instructions of the book, and we have unpacked the first box. This is the box that will contain the components for the arms.
The left side.
Of the left side of the love seat, or actually the whole left side of the arm of the love seat, I guess. The other thing I wanted to show is that you're generally going to have a couple of these little bags, and they're labeled pretty nicely. They'll tell you exactly what's inside of it, but what you get is this little slip of paper that tells you what will be contained in each of those bags. They give you this little sanding foam. It's scratchy on one side, But this is used to like take the little burrs off the edge if you need to on some of this. I would say be careful with this too, because I sanded a couple times and then this ripped and it went into my fingers. They give you gloves. You know, I mean, you can do it without the gloves. We built without the gloves, but I think the gloves would be helpful because again, those little splinters come off of the edges. I think you can see them really well right here. This is the seat cushion, but you can see that these edges are unfinished, and this moves and has the ability to open so that you can actually store in the couch. The problem is this edge here, this rough edge, scrapes right against the fabric.
So inside the bag, next to the instructions, you're gonna have all the hardware for attaching the couch. These little connector pieces are pretty simple. They snap right in to the frame itself.
So here we have the first few pages of the actual instructions, just to show you what that looks like. It's definitely much easier than a set of IKEA instructions. Everything is really clearly labeled, and you just really follow the numbers. Now that we've taken a look at the instructions, we use the enclosed screws to put the pieces together, and every piece is pre-drilled with a little guide hole so that it's really easy to line up the plastic receiving end with a guide hole. And then the instructions say you can use like a manual Phillips head screwdriver.
Do not do that.
Do not do that. This would be a horrible punishment for somebody if you had to use just a plain old manual screwdriver. What we're doing here, and this would be a good zoom in here, would be the fact that all of the parts are built to interlock with one another. So each piece receives the end of another piece. And you can see right there that it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. You can see right there, that's the guide hole that I talked about. So it makes it really, makes it really easy. To put together. And now it's broken.
It is not.
Essentially, the piece that we're putting together right now is the equivalent of this piece right here on the sofa. Another tip when you build your home reserve couch, if you have children, is to convert the boxes into little houses. So it's really easy if you just cut a small triangle at the top of these inside flaps so that you can slide it over the top of the other two sides of the box to make like a gable top. And then cut a small door and a window. We currently have a neighborhood going here. And we're going to turn this one into one in a second. So these are all of the little scraps that I was talking about. You can see it's all over the floor. One of the other things that we did when we were building the couch is we stopped at this point and vacuumed up all of those little pieces so they wouldn't stick to our fabric or to any of the padding that we're going to be putting inside. So now we are to the point where we need to put the arms together and put the foam on. Well, that was stupid. To put the foam on the arm cushions or the arm pieces, which is pretty easy. You just set it on, it's pre-cut. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the actual sides or the arms of the couch. It comes with these little things, which are these weird little like gauzy, I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but...
Ghost sheets.
We did this. Ooh. Anyways, you take these and you just sort of spread them over the top.
And they're actually really helpful because they help the fabric.
Guide the fabric down. Make sure you smooth these out nicely so that they're nice and flat. Then the all of the fabric comes inside out, where it's kind of like folded and it looks like felt. So you have to go through and find the pieces that you need.
Front cover. This is fairly easy actually. Sand the edges down so they slip into this sleeve right here and the sleeve on the other side, and then once they slip in, you fold it over, take the other side, fold it over, and then this tucks into the top. So for the back, you're going to take your top pads, I guess you would call them, and they sit right at the head of the couch, slip in to that little groove. So to attach the arms to the frame, I found that the easiest way is to actually flip it onto its back and then the arm onto its end, because you have to attach using the lag bolts through these holes down here, and you can only get to them from the bottom.
We're back, slightly sweatier after putting this thing on the wrong way the first time. So one of the things, if you notice, this actually tapers a little bit on the end, and so it will be very conducive to putting the cover on if you put the tapered end to match up with the tapered end of the cushion.
Also, Aaron put on the seat tops, and these just lift on and off for the storage compartments underneath. Pretty cool. One of my favorite things about these couches, other than the fact that they assembled inside, we could get them through the doors.